Alright, so we are going to start the very first weekly challenge from reddit.com/r Kerbal Space Program. Going through here, just showing you all of my difficulty settings are on normal. It says custom. I do not know why. I didn't change anything, saved it as normal, and when I came back into sandbox mode, it was back to custom. So the first weekly challenge is to the moon and back. This was originally from back when I think there was only the moon and Minmus. There wasn't the rest of this, so this is from very early on in Kerbal Space Program when getting to the moon was much harder than it is now. So I decided, rather than taking the really, really easy route and using all the big giant parts, making a fast moon mission, I would do something a little more fun. I'm going to do turbojet boosters that you see here, and keep it all in the 1.25 meter parts to try and keep it at least somewhat early Kerbal, I guess. Now this is all done in sandbox mode, so no big penalty there for jettisoning and really full engines. I could have been more efficient and reduced the fuel, and then I would have had a higher thrust-to-weight ratio, and I might have achieved roughly the same results had I not used a solid rocket booster, but, well, I did it anyway, so I apologize for this being all in the dark. I forgot to put lights on the spacecraft, and, you know, I just kind of didn't think about it. Just going to do some maneuver node fun here. It took strangely long for me to get it. I don't know why. But yeah, we're going to do our moon encounter. All sorts of failing, trying to get it just right. And this is all at, I think, 8 times After Effects. So yeah, I spent way too long doing that, but I finally have the encounter, and now I just need to go in and burn. I even messed up the burn a little bit. I was not doing so hot today, but you know what? I put plenty of fuel on board, and I think I'll still make it just fine. Alright, I am now in the moon's sphere of influence, and I can start adjusting periapts. All of that goodness to get a reasonable encounter and capture myself into orbit. Drop it down nice and low so that we can have a kind of nice touchdown there. I find if you come in low and then kill off all your velocity, it makes it a little bit easier to land. You don't come in with nearly so much vertical fighting of gravity. You're just killing a lot of your sideways velocity and setting yourself down nicely on the surface. And lots of fast forwarding. I'm going to try and land somewhere relatively decent and flat. We'll see how it works out. Now just orient the ship retrograde and fire. I'm going to head it back to stability assist instead of retrograde because the game doesn't stay very stable. When you set the maneuver node, it does all sorts of kind of back and forth, and that wastes a lot of electricity. I'm just killing off a little bit there to set me down in the location that I want. I could have ridden that all the way to the ground and done a full suicide burn, which is a full speed burn at the end. But I want to find somewhere that's a little bit nicer to land. Burning multiple times like this is not that fuel efficient. You can save a lot by doing the last minute suicide burn, but I am making a nice gentle approach to kind of make it easy on myself. I didn't want to do anything too crazy and have to do a lot of quick loads. I just wanted to set it down and then head back to Kerbin as reasonably quickly as I could. A slow and uneventful descent may be a little bit boring, but it is very effective. Now I'm just going to come in a little bit fast towards the bottom, and I'll do a good suicide burn at the end. Just kind of keep the speed under control, nothing too crazy. Stop all of my momentum about 100 meters too soon, but oh well, that gives me a nice straight down drop to the surface, so no lateral velocity. Nice big burn to kill most of it. Tiny little burn, and I'm down. So there's a success on that half. I'm going to do all sorts of time acceleration here in post-production. I'm just trying to find the fastest way back to Kerbin. Now, what you want to do is burn in such a way that your apoaps will be extending directly behind the moon's orbit, so exactly where it came from. That tends to be boosting towards Kerbin. And what that'll do is all of the velocity I'm using to escape the moon right now is actually going towards killing my velocity around Kerbin and dropping my periaps at Kerbin. It ends up saving you a lot of fuel rather than escape the moon and then roughly follow the moon's orbital trajectory and then have to burn down to Kerbin. I'm doing that all in one step. And there you go. You see, just as I escape the moon, my periaps on Kerbin is already very, very low. A little bit more of a burn, and I can just go ahead and do some aero braking. So there we are. We're now set for our Kerbin encounter with a little fine-tuning. Alright, pull in the landing gear and do some time acceleration. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Nope. Game glitch. We're fine. All the way back down into Kerbin's atmosphere. Alright, and drop out of all of my video acceleration for the descent. Got the engine and the fuel leading the way. Those have a very high heat capacity. They're not going to have any trouble with heating, hopefully. Okay, so we lost control of the ship there, and rather than try to save it, I'll just go ahead and detach the capsule and take the rest of the way down there. Nothing too exciting. I'm not going to overheat the capsule. That heat capacity is way too high. So I'll give my little spiel here and let you guys watch the capsule go all the way down and pull the chutes and whatnot. If you guys like the video, you can go ahead and like it and subscribe. I've got other Kerbal videos available, and I'm going to be doing all of the Kerbal Space Program subreddit weekly challenges, so there'll be all sorts of fun stuff to be had. everybody's done them in the past, but I'm going to see if you can still do most of them in 1.0 or if we were fairly dependent on the old aerodynamic system. So for the next minute, you're just going to watch the capsule go down and enjoy it if you want, or you can click away. Up to you. See you guys next time.